Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome back. Reading a good book. It's great to have you back. My name is Don K. Preston. I am the president of Preterist Research Institute of Ardmore, Oklahoma. And I'm sharing some thoughts with you in response to some viewers' questions. And the question was, well, what happened to the faithful prior to the coming of the Lord in AD 70? What happens to the faithful now that the Lord has come? What happens to them after we die? All right? Very, very clearly, this is a matter of concern to all of us, right? We want to know, do we live? If a man lives or if a man dies, shall he live again? Job 14:14. The first thing I think we need to see, one of the things that we need to see, is that under the Old Covenant there was a seeming spirit of despair over what seemed to be to them under the Old Covenant a lack of knowledge, a lack of understanding, no answers to this question. There was, to their knowledge, and that's the critical key here, what seemed to be an absolute total similarity between man and the animals. In Psalms 49, in Ecclesiastes chapter 3, we find the psalmist and the writer of Ecclesiastes speaking of man. He lives, he dies, he possesses land, but he's just like the animals of the field. He dies. And seemingly, from their point of view, from their vantage point, he ends. No difference between man and the animal. Now again, it's so critical to keep in mind the point of view from which they were writing. They did not have Jesus Christ. Now what's so critical about this is to understand that according to Paul in 2 Timothy chapter 1, Christ brought life and immortality, watch this, to light through the gospel. So, from the point of view of the Old Testament, so far as they knew, so far as they were concerned, when man died, he was just like a rover. When he died, he was dead all over. But through Christ, through the power of His resurrection, He brought life and immortality to light through the gospel. Now let's look at this just a tiny bit closer. It's pretty clear that Christ did not bring physical light or life to light through the gospel. Hello? Physical life is what was there under the Old Covenant when they had their feelings of despair and their vantage point of saying, if a man dies, will he live again? When a man dies, he's just like the animals. That's the end of him. They knew about physical life. The gospel did not bring physical life to light. There's some other kind of life that the gospel reveals. And the gospel brings to light immortality. Something they had seemingly only the slightest of hints, the slightest of clues, that one day, through the one who was coming, life, but again, not physical life, life would be given. So, when we look at what happened to those under the Old Covenant, we can see that from one perspective, their vantage point was, when man died, he was like the animals and he perished. Now Jesus said, I'm not the God of the dead. I'm the God of the living. So there was something there, but it was unrevealed. It had not been brought to light, nor had it been given through the gospel. This is why Abraham longed to see my day, Jesus said, and he saw it, and he was glad. John 8:56. Now, this doesn't definitively answer the question, what happened to them when they died, but it does shed light on their understanding of what happened. Their understanding of what happened was dim and was insufficient. And secondly, what truly happened to them when they died was not truly life and not truly immortality. That waited for Jesus, His resurrection, and the gospel. We'll have a whole lot more to say about this on the flip side. Hey, thanks for joining me. Thanks, by the way, for your wonderful emails so far. I truly, truly appreciate it. Let me remind you that I cover a lot of this and a whole lot more in my book, We Shall Meet Him in the Air, The Wedding of the King of Kings. Go to my websites, www.eschatology.org, BibleProphecy.com. Order the book. Now, when you go to BibleProphecy.com, it will ask you for a code. Enter 7070, and it will not charge you shipping. If you order through Eschatology.org, simply mention that you saw the offer here on YouTube and Facebook, and I'll refund your shipping. The material that I have in this book on life after death is one of the most extensive discussions of post-mortem life, especially from the preterist perspective, that I'm currently aware of. Get a copy of We Shall Meet Him in the Air, The Wedding of the King of Kings. And again, thanks for joining me. I'll see you on the flip side.